You've heard it said, health is wealth, so enrich your life with the Healthy Home Hour, brought to you by the Healthy Home Market every Sunday, 9 to 10 a.m. Know what's new and classic for health and wellness. Meet the local and national experts. Live God's plan to thrive, not just survive. I'm your host, Holly Adams, and welcome to the Healthy Home Hour. Good morning, all. Thanks for being here this Healthy Home Hour at 9, like every Sunday, right here on Streets 103.3, where we always share what's good and good for you. And today we're talking about redemption, and oh, what a relief it is. It's Redemption Brew Works with Gretchen Newkirk, human nutrition consultant and founder of the Redemption Brew Works company that makes non-alcoholic beverages that contribute to your body actually having a fighting chance at recovery and healing. So put those sodas down. Get rid of the tap water, the fake health drinks that you get at the gas station, and feel the difference really from the first bottle of Redemption. Gretchen's in the house today to tell us why Redemption is powerfully different and what's in it and why it changes your health profile. And ooh, it's so good. So check it out. Stay with us. First, we're going to look at some news and what's up and happening at the Healthy Home Market over there on Plaza Midwood at 1330 Central Ave. We've got some good classes coming up this week. There is a class tomorrow. It's Toastmasters in the Community Wellness Center right behind the Plaza Midwood store. It gets rolling at about 6:30, goes to 8:15. It's free and full of great tips on how to speak in public. It's truly a good skill to have in your success toolbox. And then Tuesday, the next night, from 7 to 8:30, join the New Possibilities Book Club. And the book they're talking about this month, is The Gifts of Imperfections. It's free, and it's kind of a new take on the grace of mistakes and how new discoveries and journeys happen when you embrace even the tough stuff about your life. It's a cool class. Check it out. And then Wednesday, the 27th, there's a workshop, Easing Allergy Symptoms with Energy Medicine, from 6 to 8. It's just $25, and it's worth it if you're suffering from allergies. I mean, and did you know that some folks even have allergies that affect their lives and they don't even know it? There are allergies that keep you from thinking clearly or digesting your food properly, or allergies that make you tired. And it's not just about skin rashes and a runny nose. So if you've got some things that you can't quite put a handle on, you can't figure out how to solve it, it might be allergies. And this energy medicine is very simple. You can do it yourself and feel improved. So check it out this Wednesday night at 6 to 8. And then on Thursday, the questions that maybe you've tried everything and you just don't quite feel happy or fulfilled. So this week, come and hear an expert in human potential work, Dr. Matt Lyon. Dr. Matt's back for an in-depth look at your happiness. It's free. That's this Thursday night, 6:30 to 7:30. And you know, most of these classes are free because these healthcare professionals are willing to educate you, really at no charge, so that you can learn and or decide if they're the right practitioner for you. There's no pressure, just real info. You can check it all out for details on the classes and discounts on products at all Healthy Home Markets by going to healthyhomemkt.com, or you can Google it at the Healthy Home Market Charlotte and check it out. You can check out the Healthy Home Market blog. There's lots to learn on the website at the Healthy Home Market. So the topic and the talk of the day is redemption. Redemption Brews with founder Gretchen Newkirk. So, Gretchen, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
Oh, our pleasure. I know we got some interesting things to talk about. You know, you not only have a human nutrition degree, but you've been in various local food scenes for a while, and not just in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. What is it about local and handcrafted food that inspires you?
Firstly, the taste. I think everyone appreciates a tomato that tastes good and used in that dish that you're ordering when you're out, or used in your daily cooking. Mm-hmm. Local food it tastes better.
Yeah. And I guess it saves too on
Absolutely.
on the oil, the petrol, the gas required to get it here from somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. My favorite place is the farmer's market. You can find me there every week.
It's a good spot. Your husband, I know you're you're involved in this business together, and he's also a foodie and a food scientist, and you're working together. You put together Redemption Brew Works, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do this without his help. He has a lot of knowledge. He's worked for many corporations. He started as a food scientist, and now he's a commodities trader, and he's had a lot of experience. So this wouldn't have happened without his encouragement and wisdom and knowledge about how to put it together. So at nights, we're pretty much talking Redemption Brew Works so that he can give me some insight about how to go next.
Right, how to move forward, which we're going to get into. But I wanted to ask you too about, you're into the local food scene and the crafted food, artisanal foods, and you've had a farm before, didn't you?
Yeah, we lived in Minnesota. My husband worked for a company up there, and we lived there twice. And everywhere we live, I plant fruit trees and a garden, and I'm into edible landscape. I just think it's great to be able to walk at your door and pick your herbs, and your bushes are your blueberries, and anyway, I would love to do more work on that. However, Redemption is taking a lot of time right now, but that's my passion.
It sounds a little bit like permaculture, sort of.
Absolutely. However, in Minnesota, we did have more room, so we had a huge garden, and we did have goats, and milked them, and made artisanal cheese.
Goat cheese.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Well, how did you make the switch from goat cheese? I mean, I know you moved here, but why didn't you just go back into making goat cheese? How did you make the switch to healthy drinks? What happened that got you into making beverages?
Yeah, great question. So we have 5 kids, and in between Minnesota, we lived in Pennsylvania also, and now here. And so it takes a lot of effort to move 5 kids and get them all settled. And so we were just trying to think, how can we work with being there for our kids, but also having some passionate food thing that we're pursuing. And at the time, we were actually making all sorts of cultured foods and drinks. And our kids were definitely gravitating toward the ginger beer without a doubt. It was gone before we could make new ginger beer. So, and then our friends also had a part to play in that, because they, we'd have them over and
and then everybody just loved it,
right?
And so you had all this motivation to,
right? Absolutely.
It's sort of a light bulb went off, and you thought you would do something with it professionally,
right?
I have to tell you, I have heard several customers and a lot of the employees at the Healthy Home Market say that your ginger beer is unbelievably good, and I know it's true because I drink it, and it's got this fizzy thing going on that is very satisfying to your thirst, kind of like a soda, but not with any of the bad stuff that soda brings. Like, well, for one, soda actually weakens your bones, pulls calcium out. What is your process for carbonation, but healthy carbonation?
Right. So we have live active cultures in our drinks, and those cultures produce the carbonation that is in there. So we don't add any CO2 unless it's on a keg system. It does get pushed through with the CO2, but straight from the bottle, there's been no CO2 added. All that carbonation is just from the active cultures. What happens is they use that sugar that's in there to produce the fermentation, which produces the gas.
So it's really the sugar moving through or going through a process?
Right. It's the fermentation of that because of the live cultures that are still in there.
So does that, I guess then it sort of begs the question, how much sugar is in the bottle when you go to drink it by the time you get it to your lips?
Exactly. So when we sent it to the lab, it was 120 calories for a bottle. However, that was right after processing. So as the bottle ages, as it ferments, the calories go lower. So we're gonna do a couple more lab sends there and just confirm, get a lower number on that bottle. But 120 is not bad when compared to other sodas either. But by the time it gets to consumer, it's lower. Absolutely.
So it drops down into double digit maybe.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, it's so tasty. I got to tell you, I've tried both, and I'm kind of drawn to the lemongrass. But we're going to get into that because I want to ask you more about the ginger beer because there's competition out there for ginger beer, and we'll find out what makes Redemption Brew Works different. Stay with us, folks. You're listening to the Healthy Home Hour, sponsored by Your Healthy Home Market with Gretchen Newkirk, and I'm Holly Adams. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
It's Saturday. You got up and ran a mile, then you worked in the garden, put in 3 beds of tomatoes and peppers. Tonight you'll be dancing. Tomorrow, maybe tennis. You feel great. No sign of pain. How did you do it? You took Curamin, the all-natural pain reliever. You found Curamin at your local health food store. Curamin's ingredients are safe and effective, so you can take it without worrying about unhealthy side effects. And Curamin by Terry Naturally is guaranteed to relieve your pain or your money back. You had pain, you took Curamin, and your pain's gone. Now you garden, play sports, and enjoy life pain-free. Would you like your days to be pain-free? Just ask for the Terry Naturally brand Curamin at your favorite health food store. Curamin. Curamin does not interfere with stomach, liver, or kidney function. It's intended for the relief of occasional muscle pain due to exercise or overuse. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and Curamin is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Every day can be a pain-free day. Look for Curamin at your health food store. Stop pain now with Curamin.
Are you living your dream? Lots of us aren't because we don't have a plan. All our dreams need the right plan. At the Charlotte Health Center, get a customized plan to lay down your pain and fatigue and get on your game. Feel the love and skill of Dr. Matt McAleese, chiropractor and founder of the Charlotte Health Center. Align your spine with Dr. Matt. He's got 5 essentials for a victorious life. Experience the energy, the clarity, and creativity of your body and brain when the power's on. The Charlotte Health Center is the largest private and pediatric chiropractic clinic in the QC. Dr. Matt has helped Olympians, celebrities, moms, and kids with exceptional care and concern. Call 704-780-0166. That's 704-780-0166 or charlottehealthcenter.com. Come on, live your dreams.
Novocaine, baby, Novocaine, baby.
Hey, welcome back. You're listening to the Healthy Home Hour. We're here with Gretchen Newkirk today of Redemption Brew Works. We're going to find out all about it, even why the name Redemption. It really has me very curious. And we were talking about ginger beer before the break. What is in your ginger beer? What are the? I mean, is it really beer? It's kind of a confusing name.
It is a confusing name. We spent many hours talking about, is that what we want to put on our bottle? How do we describe this wonderful brew? And really, the reason we stuck with ginger beer was because it was made in the 1800s in the streets of England. People were making it in their houses and selling it. And we just wanted to stay historically correct. For anyone that's from England, they usually will identify with that name, or from Australia. The U.S., not so much, but we just really wanted to stay historically accurate. It's a pretty cool name, but it is a challenge to communicate to people that it's non-alcoholic, and yet we're calling it a beer.
Right, right. But I think that's cool to stick to the history of it. You know, it has a legacy to it. I didn't know it was from England, and that's pretty interesting. Although I know the Brits, where would they have gotten their ginger? I mean, did that all come from India, you think?
I think so, but it's an interesting deal because they were getting their sugar and their ginger and making that. And they were also using, it sounds like a dried ginger form in that. So not exactly like we're doing with the fresh. But, and in the World Wars, they didn't have the availability of the sugar and the ginger. And so they lost the culture, actually, and weren't making it anymore. So
when you say the culture, you're talking about the fermenting culture.
Right.
That live.
Yeah.
Wow. So that brings us to really what are the ingredients in the ginger beer?
Yeah, it's really simple, and that's what makes it so beautiful. Is it's just organic ginger and organic sugar, organic lime juice, and the culture. So simple, but it has such a full flavor. We are so excited about it. It's amazing to see the small amount of ingredients transcribed to such a beautiful, full drink.
It sounds like, there's a lot of sort of companion things in there that work really well together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this culture, actually, I've never tried a ginger beer. We've never tried a ginger beer with a culture in it, but this ginger beer just has a flavor that is really pleasant, and I'm unable to describe it, but it's there's no comparison with the shelf-stable ginger beers that we've tried, in my opinion, taste-wise.
And so it's unique in some way.
Very unique, yeah. And it comes from that culture. It lends just a fantastic flavor.
So I got to ask you, we're talking about this live culture.
Yeah.
What is that? What makes a live culture? Because it's in yogurt and miso, and maybe it's not the same ones, but where does that all come from?
Yeah, good question. Well, in this case, they have saved this. It's a symbiotic culture, actually. And if people are familiar with kombucha, it's the same idea. Our culture looks completely different than the kombucha culture, but same idea. We've got a yeast and we've got a lactobacillus, and there are other cultures in there that aren't as prevalent. But it's come together in this symbiotic. It kind of looks like a little white cloud when you see the actual culture. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
It's I think a lot of people don't really understand much. More and more people are who are in the health food world, certainly, and you hear more and more about it. Of course, there's ads on TV about various kinds of yogurts and things that have extra culture and this and that. But those also have a lot of extra sugar that they add.
Right.
But this fermentation process, it actually has a probiotic effect. Tell us a little bit about the process. Why does it create probiotics, and what is it that probiotics do for us?
Okay.
We hear about them all the time, but what are they doing?
Right. So this culture is actually the probiotic in that, in your immune system, you need and have good bacteria and bad bacteria. You don't need the bad bacteria, obviously. And the good bacteria is fed and encouraged by these probiotics that we're taking, whether it's in capsule form or real food or drink. And the benefit to our drink, there's many people out there who can't have the yogurt and the kefir that's made with cow milk. So that's actually why we started with ginger beer, because it's non-dairy and it also gives us the probiotics.
That is cool. I never even thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. And of course, it makes me think of gluten issues. I know your beer is gluten-free.
Right. It is. And the reason for that is a number of us in our family have what's very similar to celiac. So, and for all those listeners out there that don't know what that is, it's a high sensitivity to gluten. So one crumb of wheat will make us sick. So, we've removed gluten from our diets, healed our immune system more because that heals the gut. It helps the microflora of the gut just to go better. And there's little follicles in the gut that really get destroyed by eating gluten and other things like that that cause people to inflame. And anyway, so the probiotics and non-dairy are very healing and encouraging to gut that is damaged.
That also brings up the thing you hear about all the time, leaky gut syndrome.
Right.
And would probiotics actually help that and plug up some of the leakage that's happening, the leaks, the holes that are happening in the gut?
Good question. I believe they heal. And the studies show that. However, you have to go to other measures to heal leaky gut. And number one is removing gluten with very strictly for a while, and then reintroducing it to see if you can handle it.
You know, you mentioned that your family copes with a celiac-like problem,
Right.
or gluten intolerant kind of a problem.
Right.
What have you noticed now that you all your guts are healthier? What have you noticed for you, your husband, your kids? Because, you know, there's so much conversation about the gut being the second brain. Does something happen to emotions and personality when the gut is better?
Absolutely. This is my favorite thing to talk about. It's a passion of mine, because when you're a mom and you see your children struggle to the depths, and then they are able to be healed from that, it becomes a passion, and you want to share it with everybody. So I just want to walk up to people and say, I can help you, you know. So yeah, we have all sorts of things going on in different kids and myself. But we had one of our daughters had dyslexia severely. So I actually homeschooled her, and we just read and kept her up to date. So she was hearing her work, but she honestly could not read anything. Once we got her off of gluten, her mind cleared, and even her therapy teacher that was working with her said, "What happened? All of a sudden, she can do stuff that was such a struggle." And she said to me, she had been with this therapy teacher for 2 years, and she said to me, "Mom, I'm going to have my test next week, and it's a really hard test. It's a number of tests that are given." And she said, "Last time, I just, you know, it was so hard that I had to concentrate. My mind was fogged, and this time going into it, I know that I can think about these questions and how to answer them." And she did fantastically well the second year when we had her off of gluten. It was unbelievable. So now she's a kid who, on her little Stanford, not little, she'll be in 10th grade. And on her Stanford, she is performing excellently. She's almost at 100% at all levels.
Oh, my goodness. Congratulations.
So, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's just such a testimony, because she wasn't able to read. But removing gluten was a life changer.
That's fascinating. Well, for all of us, kids and adults, you know, there's a lot of people who suffer from brain fog, and it's just so frustrating, because if you're trying to read, you're obviously trying to learn. There's something in that you enjoy about that.
That's right.
And it's very frustrating to not reap the benefits of spending the time to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, this is so cool.
Yeah.
This is good, happy info. I'm so glad you're here, Gretchen. We're going to take just another short break. We'll be right back, folks. Stick with us on Streets 103.3, Charlotte's new hip-hop station.
It's Saturday. You got up and ran a mile, then you worked in the garden. Put in 3 beds of tomatoes and peppers. Tonight you'll be dancing. Tomorrow, maybe tennis. You feel great. No sign of pain. How did you do it? You took Curamin, the all-natural pain reliever. You found Curamin at your local health food store. Curamin's ingredients are safe and effective, so you can take it without worrying about unhealthy side effects. And Curamin by Terry Naturally is guaranteed to relieve your pain or your money back. You had pain, you took Curamin, and your pain's gone. Now you garden, play sports, and enjoy life pain-free. Would you like your days to be pain-free? Just ask for the Terry Naturally brand Curamin at your favorite health food store. Curamin. Curamin does not interfere with stomach, liver, or kidney function. It's intended for the relief of occasional muscle pain due to exercise or overuse. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and Curamin is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Every day can be a pain-free day. Look for Curamin at your health food store. Stop pain now with Curamin.
Are you living your dream? Lots of us aren't, because we don't have a plan. All our dreams need the right plan. At the Charlotte Health Center, get a customized plan to lay down your pain and fatigue and get on your game. Feel the love and skill of Dr. Matt McAleese, chiropractor and founder of the Charlotte Health Center. Align your spine with Dr. Matt. He's got 5 essentials for a victorious life. Experience the energy, the clarity, and creativity of your body and brain when the power's on. The Charlotte Health Center is the largest private and pediatric chiropractic clinic in the QC. Dr. Matt has helped Olympians, celebrities, moms, and kids with exceptional care and concern. Call 704-780-0166. That's 704-780-0166 or charlottehealthcenter.com. Come on, live your dreams.
Novocaine, baby, baby. Novocaine, baby.
We're back. You're listening to the Healthy Home Hour, sponsored by the Healthy Home Market. I'm Holly Adams, and we're here with Gretchen Newkirk of Redemption Brew Works. And I got to ask you, I'm in love with the name of your company. We all want to know, why the name?
Yeah, that is a great question. Number one, because we just wanted it to reflect that we're in the process of redeeming our bodies. It's a learning curve. And we want Redemption Brew Works to play a part in that for us and for others. And then also just redeeming our bodies spiritually, too. So just the idea of health and peace.
And that your body is kind of a temple, sounds like.
Right, yeah.
The logo is really cool. Tell us about the logo. It looks a lot like, is it the St. Michael or the St. Francis? I forget what it is, but it has a similar look on one of the beautiful Catholic icons.
Absolutely. We just were looking for a beautiful cross, and we have a wonderful graphic artist. So we just gave him our ideas, and he put it all together, and we just said, yes, that is it. It was really easy. So I think when you have a great graphic artist.
Yeah, it's really impactful. It just, the name draws you, and then the logo draws you. It's a wonderful branding job that you've done.
Thank you.
How about, I guess we've sort of asked it already, but I'm wondering about just what it is that fermentation does for the body in general.
Right. Well, yeah, there are so many... there's so many ways to describe it.
Right.
But yeah, fermented foods, if they are left live, are so helpful. Number one, because the probiotics in there have already helped to get that food somewhat broken down enzyme-wise. And secondly, just with the probiotics again, it's so important every day to have something probiotic going into your immune system to support the health.
Right. You mentioned kombucha earlier, and I wanted to ask you, how is it different from kombucha? Because kombucha has just exploded everywhere.
Right.
I mean, not literally, perhaps, although you have to be careful not to shake any of these
items.
But
yeah.
It's a big thing in the culture now.
It is.
How is it different, and why did you choose not to go the kombucha route?
Right. Well, we were actually making kombucha at home,
Oh, okay.
too. So, but our kids just would not drink kombucha, and I love kombucha. So that it was a no-brainer for us which way to go on it. And there are companies already out there that we love making kombucha. However, we just are in love with the ginger beer culture. Yeah,
and it's sweeter. The kombucha has a much more vinegar.
That's
sharp,
right.
bitter kind of a taste to it.
Right.
Acidic
So
taste.
as the more you ferment, of course, the more you're going to taste some of that. But our ginger beer plant does not lend that vinegary taste that other drinks do. So, yeah.
With all this fermentation, I mean, do people get a buzz off of Redemption ginger beer?
That's a great question. You know what? We have a culture that makes alcohol and one that uses it, so it really stays very low, actually,
Right.
percentage-wise. Otherwise, we would have to claim that it was alcoholic. So,
Right. So
and we're not
true.
worried about that at all because our cultures are so fantastic.
So it's very different, say, from a beer or wine. culture.
Right, absolutely.
There's this
Absolutely.
counterbalancing thing
Yeah.
that in the live cultures that you use.
Right, yeah. And then back to the difference between kombucha and ginger beer. Making kombucha, you actually are using tea. So there are benefits to that. And then for some people who are trying to stay away from the small amount of caffeine you get with kombucha, ginger beer is a good
alternative.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a big label reader, and anybody who's interested in their health and trying to maintain their health really needs to be.
Absolutely.
Because I don't care where you are, you still need to look at labels and understand it a bit. And I see that your products have organic cane sugar, which is very different from a lot of the more conventional fizzy drinks that have high fructose corn syrup.
Right.
Help us out with this a little bit. What is it about high fructose corn syrup, and why do we need to stay away from it? Because that's what you hear everywhere.
It causes inflammation, number one, and inflammation is our enemy. Plus, when you're looking at corn syrup, most corn syrups are not organic, so they're GMO or something else that has been sprayed on them that I don't want in my body, so I don't want it in other people's bodies either.
There's so much going on right now in the whole GMO issue.
Right.
There's that dark act that's out there denying Americans the right to know about labeling.
Yeah.
And the companies that create GMO seeds and foods, they really don't want it labeled, though it is labeled in, what is it, like almost every other country.
Right. Absolutely. In the U.S., we're behind the times on nutritional labels. It's and also, in Europe, they've been just much more strict about what they allow. And I hope that we can go there someday in the U.S. I hope that our farmers will find other methods and that the public will help support that.
Do you find having, you had a farm, you made cheese out of goat's milk, and so you're into local farming and into artisanal foods. I mean, you must have these kinds of conversations with other farmers and people about GMOs.
I do.
What are you all saying?
Well, good question. Mostly it's at the farmer's market when I'm saying, how did you grow this? And it's really interesting. So there's, actually one of our farmers is sick right now. And they're the one that we've been trying to buy from because they have the better methods. But there's so many of them out there who are just not aware, or their answer to me is, we have to do it this way. We're feeding our family. We have to have the GMOs and the spray because otherwise we can't make it.
Oh boy, that's really that's hard because that's a journey to nowhere.
Right,
it's
right.
just not healthy at all.
Right.
That's one of the things at the Healthy Home Market that we have organic fruits and vegetables and onions and potatoes and avocados and melons and strawberries, blueberries. It's really, and lettuces. I mean, it's so important. And we also have some conventional produce available for people that talk about, well, we really can't quite make it happen financially.
Right.
But there are studies out there where you actually, if you cut down on conventional produce and conventional foods, that you actually end up over the course of a lifetime saving thousands and thousands and perhaps hundreds of thousands of dollars avoiding medical care.
Right. Well, and that's exactly why I'm coming to Healthy Home Market and buying my produce. And that's why I care and why I'm putting my money on the forward side rather than on the side of, hey, we're sick now, we need a doctor. So, and unfortunately, it took our kids being sick and myself being sick to figure out that it's worth it initially rather than at the end.
Yeah, it sounds like, you all had the celiac issue to deal with, or the gluten intolerance issue to deal with. your whole family must feel somewhat transformed, and you probably are more effective, more creative, more energized.
Absolutely. Actually, there was a point in my life. I've been very sick with multiple autoimmune disorders. There was a point in my life where I couldn't walk up the stairs because my knees hurt so bad. My husband carried me up and down. So, yes, I had to stop running. Now I'm running again. I mean, it's just crazy. So it feels good. We all have more energy. 2 kids can think, actually 3 kids can think better. We do have one child that has Fragile X. We didn't know he had Fragile X. He was 3 years old and he was not playing or talking or walking very much. So we had to prompt him to do anything. And once we got him off of gluten and put him on a healthier diet, this kid said, "I love you, Mommy," 2 days into the gluten-free diet.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, when he had never said mommy before. I mean, it's crazy. So, yes, we've seen fantastic transformations. And I really believe there's so many more people out there who can be affected by healthy eating and pursuing health through food.
That's quite a story. That's very powerful. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to ask you about Fragile X. Yeah. So we know what you're talking about. So stay with us, folks. We'll be right back on Streets 103.3.
It's Saturday. You got up and ran a mile, then you worked in the garden, put in 3 beds of tomatoes and peppers. Tonight you'll be dancing. Tomorrow, maybe tennis. You feel great. No sign of pain. How did you do it? You took Curamin, the all-natural pain reliever. You found Curamin at your local health food store. Curamin's ingredients are safe and effective, so you can take it without worrying about unhealthy side effects. And Curamin by Terry Naturally is guaranteed to relieve your pain or your money back. You had pain, you took Curamin, and your pain's gone. Now you garden, play sports, and enjoy life pain-free. Would you like your days to be pain-free? Just ask for the Terry Naturally brand Curamin at your favorite health food store. Curamin. Curamin does not interfere with stomach, liver, or kidney function. It's intended for the relief of occasional muscle pain due to exercise or overuse. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and Curamin is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Every day can be a pain-free day. Look for Curamin at your health food store. Stop pain now with Curamin.
Are you living your dream? Lots of us aren't, because we don't have a plan. All our dreams need the right plan. At the Charlotte Health Center, get a customized plan to lay down your pain and fatigue and get on your game. Feel the love and skill of Dr. Matt McAleese, chiropractor and founder of the Charlotte Health Center. Align your spine with Dr. Matt. He's got 5 essentials for a victorious life. Experience the energy, the clarity, and creativity of your body and brain when the power's on. The Charlotte Health Center is the largest private and pediatric chiropractic clinic in the QC. Dr. Matt has helped Olympians, celebrities, moms, and kids with exceptional care and concern. Call 704-780-0166. That's 704-780-0166 or charlottehealthcenter.com. Come on, live your dreams.
Novocaine, baby, baby. Novocaine, baby.
We're back. We're glad you're here. I'm Holly Adams, and we're here with Gretchen Newkirk of Redemption Brew Works. And right now, I want you all to know I've got a lemongrass brew and a ginger beer right in front of me. Let's just pour some out here. Should we try it?
Sounds good.
Ooh, this looks so good. I don't know if you can hear the bubbles, folks, but this looks delicious. And yeah, this lemongrass brew, and I want to get back to something else you talked about earlier with X Factor.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I want to get into the lemon brew because I don't want to run out of time. We got to talk about it. I really like this a lot. It's a very complex drink. It's really tasty. What's in it exactly besides that solid, good organic cane sugar we talked about that's in the ginger beer?
Right, absolutely. We have lemongrass in there, the organic ginger. We have galangal and kaffir lime leaf, and then the lime juice and culture. And turmeric, actually. So.
Oh, my goodness. I got to tell you, this is delicious. I am loving this. And I've had the ginger beer, and I love it, too. But this lemongrass is really interesting and intricate.
There is nothing out there on the market like it. Absolutely nothing. The first time we tried it, we just thought, This is fantastic. You know, there are times when you want a ginger beer and you want that little spice and you want your ginger, but there are times when you want refreshing, citrusy, and this has a full flavor. It's not empty of flavor at all. Like you said, it's very complex.
It is. You know, turmeric is like the new it spice.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's everywhere because of the curcumin part of turmeric that's so great
Absolutely.
to assuage or slow down inflammation. In fact, we had a guy, one of our guests recently, Terry Lemerand, on the show a few weeks ago, and he has formulated a pain and inflammation product from turmeric. And I'm wondering what you might have been hearing from folks that are drinking this lemongrass brew that's got turmeric in it. Have you noticed, do they talk about less pain or maybe less heat or inflammation, aside from the fact that it tastes awesome?
Well, yes. Actually, so we have the galangal and the ginger and the turmeric all have anti-inflammatory properties and very medicinal properties to them. We have some people that buy almost a case at a time to drink every week because they really believe in it. But that's one thing that I miss is I'm so busy with the backside of the business is I love to interact with customers and I don't get to do it as often. When we're doing demos, mostly we're seeing people who are just trying it for the first time because we're so new on the market.
How new are you? When did you come out?
We started last year, so.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I knew you were new to the healthy home market. You know, it's so interesting. I got to say, I'm going to put in a plug for the healthy home market here.
Yeah.
We seem to really have new, wonderful products. Like, we get them before all the other stores.
You do. Well, because you guys are easy to work with, and you appreciate the things that are out there that are healthy and that people are starting up. So you guys have been an immense help to our business and supporting it. So
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that. You know, you mentioned galangal, and I looked it up before we got here today. Just what are all the ingredients and what is galangal, and that it comes from Indonesia and it's sort of in the ginger family. Why did you use galangal instead of ginger?
Great question. Well, we wanted to have a drink that wasn't as high on the ginger content so that the people that are not inclined to have the spice that the ginger has,
The heat.
right, that they have a product that they can purchase. But the properties of galangal, and we were just familiar with it because we've lived in Thailand before and they use it in some of their soups and stuff. And at first I was a little hesitant, like, how is this going to come out? Because the galangal is very hard to deal with. It's a very hard root. It's bigger than the ginger, and it smells really medicinal. But that combined with this beautiful culture has made a really fantastic product.
It is excellent. You know, I also read, in preparing, for today's show, that galangal actually helps with sort of antibacterial effects and helps with body odor and deodorizes the body. So it would help like with bad breath, maybe.
Absolutely.
And in the small intestine, it helps cleanse the intestines. Did you add it kind of for your kids and getting their intestinal tract better?
You know, that was a side benefit, but we really added it for the flavor to begin with. So, which is crazy. I know it sounds crazy. Why would you initially put galangal in it? But we just happened upon that, and it worked.
It does. It really works.
Yeah.
Now, how would you describe galangal, the flavor of it?
You know, it is very hard to describe because it has a completely different flavor when you're trying the Thai soups versus when it's in our drink with the culture, and when it interacts with the culture and the turmeric and the lemongrass, it really finds a different flavor profile that I'm not even sure we can define as galangal, but just as the lemongrass brew.
Yeah, it's got a great feel with the turmeric versus the galangal, or with the galangal, with the lemongrass. It's fantastic. And the ginger beer it's more kind of straight up. It doesn't have as many products.
Right. It's just the ginger and the lime juice. So absolutely.
And the evaporated cane
Right.
sugar.
It's the cane sugar and the culture.
Yeah,
so
it's very good. It's more of a power-packed forward kind of a
It
drink.
is. Yeah, absolutely.
How about the you have something in the lemongrass brew called kaffir leaves, Kaffir. What do they add to the flavor?
Well, that's kaffir lime leaf is more of a lime flavor. So yeah, it's really phenomenal. But I don't know. You just have to try it. I need to get a food expert to really taste it and write it up. But I'm not a detail gal. I'm just like, I really like this lemongrass brew.
It's excellent. I really love it too. I got to tell you, I think it's outstanding. Is there any sort of health profile, do you know, to the kaffir leaves? Because you see it a lot in, Indonesian restaurants and sometimes in Chinese restaurants.
That's a great question, and I probably looked it up, but I don't know off the top of my head right now.
I wonder, I would imagine as a nutritionist, I bet you have some more plans in the works for health and healing for Redemption Brew Works. What are you thinking about for future products?
Well, we do. We're tossing up the idea. We have made in test batches some green tea drinks with like a pomegranate. So that's one of our thoughts. But we'll see. We're really experimenting with a lot of different flavor profiles. We've had some people say, don't do tea because we want all, non-caffeinated. But green tea has a lot of medicinal properties too.
Oh, yeah. It's so healing.
Mm-hmm.
You would make them because of the health properties and then round out the flavor so they're tasty.
Right, absolutely.
That's a challenge because there's a lot of tea products out there.
There are, and it's when you add our culture to the tea, it's not the same. It's not like you're buying a tea product. It's more like a fancy soda. So, yeah.
Yeah, without the bad stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're just looking for difference, and how can we support that consumer out there who doesn't want to buy the soda products that are out there because they have the, natural flavors on the label or all of those things that are made in a lab. We want everything to be fresh and from real food.
It's so bizarre, isn't it? It's like Wild World or something, It says natural flavors and there's nothing natural about it.
Right. Well, then list it. Tell me what that natural flavor is, if it's okay to put in your product, tell me what I'm drinking.
Right. Back to the labeling issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. We're going to dig into the ginger beer here on the break, folks. We'll be right back. Stay with us on Streets 1033.
It's Saturday. You got up and ran a mile, then you worked in the garden. Put in 3 beds of tomatoes and peppers. Tonight you'll be dancing. Tomorrow, maybe tennis. You feel great. No sign of pain. How did you do it? You took Curamin, the all-natural pain reliever. You found Curamin at your local health food store. Curamin's ingredients are safe and effective, so you can take it without worrying about unhealthy side effects. And Curamin by Terry Naturally is guaranteed to relieve your pain or your money back. You had pain, you took Curamin, and your pain's gone. Now you garden, play sports, and enjoy life pain-free. Would you like your days to be pain-free? Just ask for the Terry Naturally brand Curamin at your favorite health food store. Curamin. Curamin does not interfere with stomach, liver, or kidney function. It's intended for the relief of occasional muscle pain due to exercise or overuse. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and Curamin is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Every day can be a pain-free day. Look for Curamin at your health food store. Stop pain now with Curamin.
Are you living your dream? Lots of us aren't because we don't have a plan. All our dreams need the right plan. At the Charlotte Health Center, get a customized plan to lay down your pain and fatigue and get on your game. Feel the love and skill of Dr. Matt McAleese, chiropractor and founder of the Charlotte Health Center. Align your spine with Dr. Matt. He's got 5 essentials for a victorious life. Experience the energy, the clarity, and creativity of your body and brain when the power's on. The Charlotte Health Center is the largest private and pediatric chiropractic clinic in the QC. Dr. Matt has helped Olympians, celebrities, moms, and kids with exceptional care and concern. Call 704-780-0166. That's 704-780-0166 or charlottehealthcenter.com. Come on, live your dreams.
Novocaine, baby, baby. Novocaine, baby. I want.
Hey, we're talking redemption this Sunday morning. Redemption Brew Works. And right now, we at the break, well, Gretchen and I have been dipping into the ginger beer a little bit, but just want you to know there's no alcohol in it. And it is delicious. It's very powerful and has a lovely round flavor, very full flavored. And I was wondering, before the break, before a couple of breaks, we were talking about something that you've had to deal with your son, that your products have actually contributed to his healing. And you mentioned Factor X or X Factor.
It's actually called Fragile X.
Fragile X. Okay.
It hasn't been understood for very long, so there's not a lot of people who know about it. But there are many people out there with Fragile X affecting their families. In fact, every year they go up to Capitol Hill and they're getting some good money to support some studies to figure out how we can help these kids and adults live their lives.
What is it? What does it look like? How does it express itself and affect someone's life?
Right. It's a genetic intellectual disability as far as they understand it. So if you see somebody with Fragile X, they don't have as much control over their nervous system. So they might be flapping their arms or chewing their hands or looking down. They can't make eye contact as well.
Right.
Many things like that, or speak sometimes.
And that was that's a matter of something that's genetic, you say. It's not necessarily a toxic kind of a impact.
Right. Well, as far as I understand it, in my opinion, what the toxins that are affecting our bodies can affect how our genes are working. So in many instances, other than Fragile X even, if we're overloading our bodies, then those genes are going to have, if there's something wrong in there, we're going to show that. So as much as we've been able to understand, we're helping our son by having organic produce from places, from Healthy Home Markets, and we're getting him the gluten-free things. We're eating grass-fed meats when we can afford it, things like that. But then also, you really have to heal the gut, and probiotics are such an important part of that. So that's my passion, to tell others that are dealing with kids and family that have autistic spectrum or things like that. There's really a way to heal.
Have you found, since having your children, that these various disorders do they seem more prevalent to you?
They do seem more prevalent to me. When I was in school 20 years ago, there weren't as many celiacs, or understanding that there were, or people that had these intolerances, or intestinal system disorders. So yes, things have changed a lot, and we're seeing a lot more autistic spectrum kids.
Yeah, because I hear a lot in the business about how the way that we're farming and all the chemicals, pesticides, particularly the glyphosate, is so difficult on the nervous system once it gets into the body and on the gut. And recently I read that actually they spray glyphosate all over the wheat fields just before it goes to harvest.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Oh my goodness, isn't that the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's about being easier on the farmers and an easier way to harvest. And it's just, the farmers have been believing what they're being told, and it's really unfortunate. It may have contributed to all these people that are unable to have the wheat now. We'll see. That'll play out in studies. Over
time, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, the truth eventually does come out.
Right.
Yeah. It seems, it really does seem as though there's a way to help yourself to control your own intake of food and drink. And have you noticed, do you know children or other families that haven't really made the switch with kids, like say that your kids are going to school with or they have playtime with? Those families that haven't made the kind of changes that your family has, how are those kids faring compared to your children?
Yeah, you can see it. You can see that there is such a potential for them to do so much better if they could embrace the diets. But you have to, we went up to the Duke Fragile X Clinic, and they are wonderful doctors up there. But, their one comment to me was, not everybody can implement this like you can, Gretchen, because you're detailed and you're a mom that's, hands-on. And so a lot of people that they deal with are not as able to pay attention to all this. It's even paying attention down to the point of, we threw out our pasta pot that we had used with gluten because there was still going to be some gluten in there. So there's a lot of education that has to happen to implement it properly.
So it would seem that then there needs to be a real community effort to support people to be able to make the changes if they don't have your predisposition to
That's
this.
right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had the benefit when we figured out about the gluten problem. We had a GIG group up in Hershey, Pennsylvania that was absolutely phenomenal, and they taught us really well. Yeah, I looked into starting a GIG group here, but I don't have the capacity to do that right now.
Well, that was my next question. Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you if you were thinking of doing that. Maybe it would be good to partner up with somebody. The Healthy Home Market, one of our charity is Parker Autism.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they're a local group, mm-hmm. and we fund them directly, modestly to some degree. We are a grocery store at heart, right, at base, but we have been with them and supported them and helped them get kids to camp and to Disney World. And I wonder if partnering up with that group somehow would be helpful for you and get some of your information out to them and then therefore to everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. We all came from the mindset, even me, who is my education degree was in nutrition. Looking at people that are changing their lives through nutrition, there's still a era of, can that really be true? Can you really change those things with food? And you can, but that's why the testimonies are so real and important, because a book that's telling somebody that, they're not going to listen to as much as they will their doctor, who doesn't have the information that we do today.
What is that expression? You must have come across it in school when you were working on your nutrition degree. Mm-hmm. I think it was, I don't know if it was Edison or Hippocrates. Maybe it was Hippocrates that said, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Oh,
yes, I think you're right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
It seems to be coming to fruition.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that quote.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. It really is. It's so positive because it really says that we have the control.
Right. We do. We really do.
How about, you mentioned all the gardening that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
You had this big garden up in Minnesota. Do you think it's really time for people to start their own gardens and have more control over their food?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And even if it's, there are a lot of people that don't have big yards or even somewhat medium-sized yards, and you can make a garden right outside your front door or back door. You can bring in pots and do it that way, but it's super easy and super rewarding.
Yeah, we started this year for the first time. Mm-hmm. We put in 8 raised beds behind the Healthy Home Market. So we have a community garden going behind the store.
That is wonderful. I did not know that.
Yeah. You have to zip over to the other side of that whole building, and you can see the raised beds.
Wow. I'm going to go take a look.
Yeah. It's fun. We've been trying to do all kinds of different things with it and repurpose. Yeah. So we took some clothing racks that we had at one of our stores and reconstituted them, and now they're a trellis for the peas.
I love it. I love it.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Gretchen, big thanks for being here. And I really am going to go right now to the Healthy Home Market. And I'm going to check into getting maybe a few of these lemongrass because I have some family coming in town and I want them to give this a try. And I want to drink a lot of it. This is delicious.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you for having me. It's
Oh.
been a blessing to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for me too. Folks, Redemption Brew Works. This is a hot summer, so give it a try. The ginger beer and the lemongrass brew for taste and some bubbly satisfaction, and for keeping your body beautiful and your mind sharp. So next week, hope to see you here. We're going to have Dr. Jessica Sachs will be with us. She'll be talking about single-payer healthcare. Check it out. It's the other side of health and wellness. So happy Sunday, folks. Peace and redemption. This is Holly Adams. We've been here with Gretchen Newkirk of Redemption Brew Works. And I'll see you next week. This is Streets 1033, your new Charlotte hip-hop station. Pay it forward and restore yourself by making the healthy choices for you and your family, and enjoy life with the Healthy Home Market. Feel the goodwill and own great health. Check it out at healthyhomemkt.com. That's healthyhomemkt.com for store locations, details, and discounts. Get the best of God's green blue earth at the Healthy Home Market.